All right, let's just stay in the print sector, and of course, despite the concerns about the ad market and a lack of new magazine launches coming on market recently, Pacific Magazines has launched a new title, Bike, this month. It's a quarterly title. Let's find out more from the editor, Bruce Ritchie, also, of course, former editor of Men's Health for, a decade, and it's still editorial director, of course, at Men's Health as well. Just take us through why the reasoning was to launch a new title in this environment.
I guess because we saw a yawning gap there. Cycling as a sport is booming. You only have to try and drive anywhere on the weekend to see a pack of usually middle-aged guys in Lycra on the roads, keeping fit and having fun. I looked at the market and thought, well, there's a lot of magazines out there that champion the professional side of the sport, but there's very few that actually say to those guys out there, the weekend warriors, here's how to do it better, here's how to eat better, train better, learn all the arcane technical terms to enjoy what is very much a passion point for them.
Now, the day you found out Lance Armstrong was going to appear on Oprah, what did your first thought? Gee, that's good for us, or wow, not great timing?
Oh, thanks, Lance. 4 days to go, I think it was. Look, I mean, given that this magazine is aimed very much at making the weekend warrior better, I doubt any guy who saw that was going to hang up their bike and not go out on the Saturday or Sunday. So it was an amusement and a slight distraction, but we launched down at the Tour Down Under in Adelaide the next Monday, and look, I think there was also a sense of a closure in the sport, making a clean break and getting on, and yeah, there have been a lot of whispers about him too. There's a lot of smoke there, so I think probably a lot of relief and not that much surprise in the end.
Just looking, I guess, at the growth in the magazine market. I mean, we've seen sort of the lads mags go, but you look at that kind of men's health sector, and it's amazing the sort of strength there. Is that something that you see continuing? Yeah,
well, I think so. I think a lot of magazine demise, I guess, has been put down to maybe what the internet has brought along. And certainly with the case of the lad magazines, the sort of the erotic content or the jokes, whatever, they fly around via email or on the net. They're pretty easy to find. What Men's Health's offered for a long time now is curated, solid information that can enrich your life, but it's delivered in a nicely packaged form, and it's entertaining, and so that takes a lot of the hard yards out of somebody if they want to find out how to do this or learn about that or get some skills. It's all there for them every month, so I think that package has proved pretty resilient at the moment.
When you sit down at a publishing house these days to talk about possible launches, I imagine part of the discussion is about, look, would this work digitally only?
Yeah.
Did you have those chats? And you've gone with the print product? And
we did, and we discussed it because we've got a license arrangement with Rodale in the States on this through bicycling. We discussed that, and there's really, even in the States now with some successful iPad versions, there's not the numbers there to justify that at this point. So we quickly shelved that and thought we'll go back with the main game, but certainly digital is part of the plans going forward.
Just looking, I guess, at bike and where it's positioned, I mean, is it mainly men, or is there sort of big numbers among women as well? Is that something that you'll do as kind of a group buy alongside, Men's Health and Women's Health as well?
In terms of the audience, anecdotally and observationally on the weekends, I think it's about 80% men. This is more about road riding as opposed to mountain biking. That's a different segment, largely. About 80% men, and certainly going around and meeting with some of the industry guys in the cycling industry, that was about their best guess as well. So women are obviously a pretty important part of the mix, and this is, I would hope it's a kind of gender neutral mix, much in the same way that Men's Health still has a fairly strong female following, even now with Women's Health coming along and doing so well. Women kind of like that package as well, so we'll see. We hope to get as many gals as possible on board.
What sort of advertisers have you got in the first issue? Is it mainly sort of specialist bike people from the enthusiasts?
The industry guys, obviously, that's the bread and butter, because they're partly also stuff that the bikes are things that guys want to look through, or girls want to look through when they flick through. But also with the Men's Health pedigree and being able to go to advertisers and say, we're doing it, we did Men's Health, everybody's gone, oh, aha, it's going to be quite good. We've got some watch guys in there, we've got some automotive guys. We think there's probably fragrance and fashion and wine and so forth, and coffee machines down the line. There's probably, given that a lot of the high-end advertisers, their clientele, they appreciate that cycling has a fairly high demographic in there, so it's a good audience. And it's as is worn out, it's kind of the new golf, but we think it's a really good bunch of 35-plus guys in the main who are keen to target.
At the moment it's quarterly. What kind of results would you want to see to increase the frequency?
talk to the boss.
Okay.
We don't want to say last Monday. Look, it's quarterly at the moment. I don't know what the measures are. The initial advertising response has been good and will get better. The initial circuit has been good, will get better. We'll talk at the end of the year. It's budgeted for 4, and then we'll see if we want to go to 6.
Bruce, thank you so much for that. Great to hear about
Pleasure,
it.
Brady.
Bruce Ritchie there, editor of the new magazine Bike. Let's turn now, of course, to the ACTA Awards. An Australian film, The Sapphires, blitzed the Australian film industry's Night of Nights this week. The movie musical dominating across acting and technical fields at the 2nd annual award ceremony held in Sydney.
Hollywood's award season has headed down under, with the big names in Australian cinema and television hitting the red carpet at the 2nd annual ACTA Awards in Sydney. Movie musical The Sapphires has outshone all others at the award ceremony, snaring 11 ACTA Awards in all, including the night's Top Gong Best Film. There was a trophy for director Wayne Blair, also one for Deborah Mailman, named Best Lead Actress. She also picked up Chris O'Dowd's Best Lead Actor gong on the Irish actor's behalf.
And the award goes to Jessica Mauboy, The Sapphires.
While Jessica Mauboy was overwhelmed by her Best Supporting Actress win and later took to the stage with the original Sapphire. The flick also nabbed an additional audience-voted Best Screen Moment award. Thriller Wish You Were Here was the other big film victor. Husband and wife team Kieran Darcy-Smith and Felicity Price awarded Best Original Screenplay, while Best Supporting Actor went to the film's Anthony Starr. Hollywood heavyweights Nicole Kidman, Cate Blanchett and Jeffrey Rush were on hand to present prizes, while Russell Crowe stepped up as host. In the TV categories, Puberty Blues scored Best Series, and How's That Kerry Packer's Wars picked up Best Miniseries or Telemovie. Shelley Lee, Sky News.
All right, let's turn now to some news from, we'll certainly get James's thoughts on the ACTA Awards. James Manning here with us from Mediaweek. What looking at the awards there, obviously we had the international awards, of course, announced too in LA at the weekend. What's your thinking now, second year?
Well, it was just stunning, I guess, how the Sapphires really dominated. Hardly any other film got a look in. I think there were only 2 other movies who picked up awards. So yeah, 11 awards, incredible. ABC One did very well in the television stuff. You've got to remember it's sort of almost equally film and TV. So ABC One took about 10 awards, I think, so it did very well. Sapphires took 11. They were sort of shared around. I think 9 picked up 2 other awards, something for How's That, something for Underbelly, 7 won for Best Reality Show, The Amazing Race, and the most nominated TV program was 10's the Cronulla girls. Puberty Blues, of course. There we go.
Blues,
yeah, but only won
yes.
1 award, but a worthy winner.
Absolutely. Just looking at the radio sector, the new Mixed Sydney breakfast show started this week, and how have Sammy and Yumi gone?
Yeah, it sounded pretty well. I think ARN have been very smart about this launch. They've been working with the girls for a long time behind the scenes. Some people just put up a radio show and work it on air live, if you like, because it's often hard in a dummy sort of situation or pretend to get it sounding good. But yeah, they've come on. Sounds pretty good. They're going hard after listeners from other stations. They're saying, look, we want to knock off a lot of listeners from Today FM in Sydney, Kyle and Jackie O, so they're targeting them. And after the first few days, they've got the content that will appeal to some of their listeners.
One of the best radio promotions, of course, has been the Triple J Hoggers 100.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. They do a great job there. Australia Day weekend, they released the sort of readers' poll, and this year had something like 1.5 million votes from about over 180,000 different voters. So it's incredible, the way they engage with their audience. So yeah, really well done.
All right, let's just turn to television and look at the ratings. This is for week 4, and the top 10 free-to-air first, and of course Australian Open there, James dominating.
Yeah, so that's the last full week. We won't see those men's finals figures until next week, but yeah, fantastic business for 7. Look, year on year, actual audience numbers were down a little bit, but it still really dominated the free-to-air TV.
And MasterChef Professionals there for 10, creeping at number 10. We're going to ask you about the cooking shows battle in just a moment.
Okay, I'll wait.
So top 10 subscription TV next. And there we see A-League doing quite well as well, Fox Sports 1, Modern Family, and Come Dine With Me, Australia, for lifestyle in that
Sure.
top.
Yeah, cooking.
Yeah, absolutely. And just finally, America's Next Top Model for Fox 8, there at number 9. So, James, just firstly, ad revenue numbers. There's been some released by Free TV this week.
A lot of speculation last year about how, the pressure on 10's ad dollars. Look, the they did have a bit of a shocker last half of the year. Their revenue share's down to just over 21%. So yeah, a lot of people saying could it go down to 20? Some people saying, oh look, it'll never go that low. Some reckon it'll even go below 20 this year. The numbers were affected, of course, by the Olympic Games. Nine share was up nearly 4 points. They're up around 38%. Seven was solid on 40%. So the big improver was Nine, but that Olympic ad dollars certainly helped that. But they'll be really wanting to hang on to that share into this year, and they'll be fighting hard to keep their share up around 38%.
This week we've seen the first battle between My Kitchen Rules, MasterChef Professionals. How did it go?
Turned out to be a bit of a non-event, really. It was just My Kitchen Rules really swept the floor, nearly, doubling the audience numbers for MasterChef The Professionals. Look, MasterChef The Professionals still 10's #1 show, still getting reasonable demo numbers compared to what else is on 10. So look, it's that show will certainly continue, and there's no probs there. But it's it didn't really stand up. The rest of the schedule's really taken a beating at 10 this week too. They had some new NCIS that didn't perform well. A couple of Glee episodes. Look, the Glee audience seems to have certainly moved on. We'll get some clearer figures when 9 gets back into the race next week with the debut of the All Stars of the Block. So we'll see how that goes up against My Kitchen Rules.
And very quickly, Peter Hitchner, 40 years with Nine, but of course still ongoing, but tributes this week, that long career.
Look, the mainstay of a Nine News is a really strong brand down in Melbourne. Gives Seven a hard time, and he's celebrated this week.
James, as always, thank you so much.
Brian.
James Manning, editor and publisher of Mediaweek there. That's all we've got time for from the team here. Thanks for your company.